At this point, we've only looked at a few different rational functions, and we really just want to classify them into three general categories. Our basic rational function with one vertical asymptote, our double vertical asymptote rational functions, and we have ones with our slant asymptote. So we can determine whether we're having these different functions by looking at what's left over. So in this case here, we only have one denominator that's uncancelled, and then we can work out the horizontal asymptote from our limit. Here we would end up with, if we factor and simplify, we end up with, if we have a double vertical asymptote, that would mean then that we have two factors in the denominator left over. So I would end up with some factor x minus a, x minus b, and that would give us two vertical asymptotes here and here. And to draw these ones we just have to follow our horizontal and vertical asymptotes and try to do the best we can to go through the points, and bear in mind that we can cross horizontal asymptotes. And the general concept is that if it hits an asymptote going down, on the other side it should be going the other way around. Now there are some exceptions, but we have not looked at those yet. And again, there's going to be lots of details and lots of exceptions to these graphs that we will eventually work with, but at this point we have very limited information. We have vertical asymptotes, holes, horizontal asymptotes. The slant asymptote comes from long division, and it's when we have the degree in the numerator is one higher than the denominator. So when we divide this, we end up with a linear quotient, and that quotient is going to give us the endpoint behavior. So some of the steps are going to be, we're going to determine the number of vertical asymptotes and holes from our denominator. We're going to divide to get horizontal or slant asymptotes, or we can use endpoint behavior with limits to get horizontal asymptotes. We can check on our graphing tools to see what regions we're drawing in, so it's always a good idea to check your graphs on a graphing tool once you've done the best you can with the parts that you know. So make sure that we show the holes in the graph, simplify when possible, and make sure you're keeping track of the cancels factors, because those are the ones that give you holes.